Hey everyone, it's feeding time, and you know there are people out there making videos forcing chaos during feeding just to get more views. And this is dangerous to both the keeper and the crocodilian. So today, I want to chat about station training and demonstrate how a properly trained crocodilian behaves in captivity at feeding time. So stay right here. I'm Mark Perpetua, and this is Croc Chat. So today we're in the reptile shed and I wanted to show you some feeding demos with a couple of different crocodilians. And the first thing I have is a Moralett's crocodile. This is Tiki. She's roughly 4 feet long. And what you see her doing right now is called stationing. Some people are working with targets. I found that stationing is just as easy to teach a crocodile, and what it does is it teaches the crocodile to sit still and wait for food to come to it. In other words, if she sits there with her mouth open, she is going to get a treat thrown into her mouth. And that's the only way she gets food. In order to teach her this in the beginning, it was pushing her back with a snake hook, making sure she understood that lunging at her food was not going to get it for her. And in the beginning, she was a very aggressive feeder. I got videos of her jumping up at my hand, and when you opened the door to her cage, she would come jumping out, sometimes even onto the floor. But now she has learned that the edge of the cage is her station, and you can tell how easy she's waiting there. And look how good she is. In fact, she has learned so well to station that something I couldn't get away with early on is moving my hand around her, showing her the food. Well, there we go. As you can tell, she's still got some learning to do. And I guess we are getting a little impatient. But that's still one of her more gentle lunges than she used to have. The other thing I'm working with is then using the snake hook to desensitize her. See how she had a reflex, but she never actually snapped at the hook. In fact, I could put it in her mouth, and even though she snapped, she lets go right away. She knows it's not food, and then I can get her right back in her cage and show you how she's going to come right back up to a station. All right, doesn't have to be the same spot. She just knows that she has to wait with her mouth open and head outside the cage. Oh, up, up, up. There we go. So again, station training with a Moralett's crocodile. And one of the purposes of this is it makes opening the cage a lot safer. It makes handling her a lot safer, and it keeps her from lunging at your food, at her food, that is. In fact, she has become so good during feeding time and the whole desensitization that I mentioned that even after feeding her, she knows it's food, that if I get her back in her pool, she'll know the difference between handling and feeding time. And that's what makes it safer when you want to use her for a lecture or a presentation, and she knows the difference between a hand and feeding. And watch, that little disturbance isn't going to affect her. She'll come right back up for more food. And here she comes. She recognizes that chirping juvenile call as her feeding call, and it brings her right to me. A true testament to just how intelligent these animals actually are. All right, next we're going to feed AJ. AJ is an American alligator. He's roughly the same size of Tiki. And you're going to notice that the alligator's response is a little different. He's already in his water, but we should be able to call him out between the food item, which is some chicken gizzards just for the video, and then we're going to use the baby alligator vocalization as a feeding call. I actually think he's a little shy of having his camera in his face. Let's see what happens. Here he comes. And you'll notice the alligator is much more reserved than the crocodile is when it comes for food. Come on. It's also really early spring, so AJ is a little slower than the crocodile. Alligators being more tolerant of the cold. He's just waking up from having a cool off spell to make it more natural for him. And this really isn't going good, but there you go. So while AJ is not coming to the call and showing how he stations, we at least got him to snap that food once it hit him on the nose. And he's going to be a little slower. I will be honest, yesterday he had a little extra feed of Missouri croc chow. Something the crocodile won't eat. Doesn't seem to like the texture. There we go. Oh, he's going to shake it because it's sticking out of his mouth. That's something he doesn't do that often. If an alligator gets something or a crocodile a little too large to take down in one bite, they use that head shake to rip off a bite-sized piece. And I guess it was stuck on his teeth. And, well, he let that piece fall to the ground. Let's see if we can get him to come for another one. There we go. And for some reason, he's not liking chicken. Let's see what he does with a little bit of Missouri croc chow. Something he's very used to eating. Although he does eat chicken, he eats mice, he eats fish. Try to give them a varied diet. Whole organisms are better, of course. Things with all the entrails in them. Give them more vitamins and nutrition. And, of course, this croc chow is made for that as well. And there he goes. And for some reason, that he likes more than chicken. Who would think an alligator would rather have a food nugget that looks more like dog food than a nice fresh piece of chicken? But I guess that's all right. Look, he found the other one on his own, just floating there. Totally ignoring the chicken and going for the croc chow. So let's see if this works. Well, maybe we can get him to come up for this. Up, 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 up. Nope. This croc chow comes in two sizes, and this is the small. And I just find it's easier. He's at that in-between size at just over 4 feet, not quite 5 feet, where if I give him the large ones, he has to crunch them. And that just makes a lot of waste. Where these, he can snap up. And in the summertime, when he's warmer, he'll come right up. And I can actually throw like 5 pieces at a time to speed things up for him. And then that will be something he can swallow whole without having a lot of crumbs wasted by chewing on the larger size. I'm going to have to get the tongs to get that chicken out of there since he's not going to eat it. But at least we got a feeding response. And I just still find it really weird that an alligator would rather eat dry nugget food than good fresh chicken. But again, the Missouri croc diet, completely made for crocodilians. It's a zoo company making this product with it's probably better nutrition than if he had eaten that chicken.